Welcome back to the Illuminated Path. This is episode 47. We are so close to a year.
I know,
We're
it's
getting there.
crazy.
What are we talking about today?
We are talking about having fun, intentionally having fun. Don't forget to incorporate fun and recreation in your life.
Yeah. Guys, you know the drill. We're in the porch. There could be wind.
There is a lot of wind tonight. I mean, I feel like I look disheveled because my hair is going everywhere, but
There could be birds. There could be sirens. There could be highway sounds. Just buckle up. We'll get through it. How is the week?
The week is good. It's been real humid out, and it's a lot when we only have an AC unit in our bedroom, but
Yep.
I can, as much as, I can say it's pretty sweaty out there. I will take this over the cold any single day.
A little
So
sticky, but yeah.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
Prefer summer always.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So today we have Don't Forget to Have Fun. Now, talk to us about this because this is so, and I always say this is so important, right? And that's why we have a podcast that talks about this stuff. But
You're in rare form.
a little hot, a little sticky, really kind of wanting to get out of the porch. So,
Okay.
Talk to us about having fun.
I think that as we grow up and become adults, a lot of people don't make time for fun and recreation. And, some people start to see like socializing with people, going to a party, going out for drinks or dinner or whatever as like fun and recreation. And in a way that can be true, of course, like obviously spending time with people and socializing is fun. But I'm talking about fun in terms of like true, like using your imagination or doing some activity that it like just brings you joy and like really reconnects you with that inner child of like play and fun.
See, I don't have to be such a diplomatic coach, so I can say I think if you need alcohol to have fun, you're pathetic. But yeah, I mean, I think that it's kind of, as we get older, people treat it like, oh, that's not real life. Like that's not being an adult. And it's almost treated like when you become an adult, you can't have fun. You're like adulthood doesn't allow for that.
I mean, there's also, people are chronically stressed. So it's
Yeah.
hard to even say like, oh, I should intentionally make time for fun because a lot of times we spend like the free time we have just resting and relaxing because we're exhausted.
Yeah.
But the reality is having intentional time for play and fun, it really fills your cup. It helps your nervous system. It reconnects you to that inner child part of you. And it does lower stress levels. It absolutely helps with stress.
Yeah.
But it's hard to get there if you're not, again, being intentional about creating space and time for fun in your life.
Yeah. I just went to an arcade with my cousin.
And brother.
And my brother. We drove up, we saw my cousin, and just spent the day with him at an arcade. And they had like go-karts, and we went, drifting in the go-karts, and they had like virtual reality stuff. And then we won tickets, and I got a little can of the fake worms with the like squeaky toy in it. And now we recall the dogs with it, and they think it's an animal dying, and they love it, and they run right to the door.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. But yeah, I mean, you gotta just be willing to do things that are gonna be fun for you. And I will say too, I think you need to carry an open mind into it. Like I very easily could have been like, oh, I'm too old for this.
I think that's a mindset that a lot of people get stuck in, like, thinking that they should be more serious and like
all the time.
Yeah. And I mean, I had the idea of this episode from like some recent activities. You going to the arcade. We took our longboards out on the trail, and
they're my longboards, but sure.
They're mine now. And that was like one of the most fun nights ever. And that is the nights that like we're creating those core memories. Like I'm going to look back at that and remember that night because I was just laughing and just purely like enjoying the moment and doing an activity that was just like so fun.
Right. And so when you spend a third of your life sleeping and a third of your life at work, you know, it's those memories truly, that remaining third, that you're remembering.
Yeah, it's that joy. It's like really being able to be in the moment and have that playful fun time. Again, like reconnecting to your inner child. That's why the longboarding, that's why we love our bikes. And even we took the motorcycle out recently, finally got that all fixed up, and
Yeah.
that was just fun, like just driving and the air blowing in your face. Like there's nothing, no stress to worry about.
Do you want to take the bike out after this?
Maybe.
You're just like, you're making it sound
I
so
have a
great.
Harley Davidson motorcycle, for those who don't know.
Oh, you had to say it was yours.
As it is. I've had it 9 years now. Anyways,
I got rid of the sport bike.
and then another, yeah, it wasn't that comfortable. So, and another thing that recently has really made me feel like lean into this fun and like be intentional is spending time with like some of our friends and family's kids. They are so joyful and fun. And even like the simplest thing, like playing in the pool or just playing with like these toys or just like pretending with them. Like it's so fun. I just like laugh and giggle and I love that.
Yeah. See, as a society, I think we have the concept of age like totally wrong. And I think like, because we talk about it like being a child, it's like, it's almost like the children have that playful energy that we go through school and get a career and go and we lose it.
Yeah.
Right. And like personally, I believe like artists are people who have really held on to it throughout their life.
Yeah, because there's more of that imagination and like
Right.
creativity, that spark's still there.
Right. And so it also reminds me of when you look at the other side of the spectrum of the elderly and people who are, really old or even on their deathbed, a lot of them have regrets that they didn't go for things, that they didn't do the thing,
That they took life too seriously.
took life too seriously, focused too much on their career, and or material possessions. And I think at its core, having fun, like you said, it's really about those memories. Like when you look back at the end of your life, it's the fun, it's the playful moments you're going to remember. It's the vacations you took. It's the activities you did, the sights you saw. So I think if we could rewrite that as, it's not being immature, it's playful energy. It's not about being a child or being old or being serious. It's about having that playful energy as a part of your soul.
Yeah, definitely. And you said like that, the attitude of like getting old, and like that's a mindset. Like you can absolutely have fun and just joke around and have recreation in your life and still connect to your inner child.
Yeah.
Like in an older age.
I have known people who have said they're old since they were 40.
Yeah.
And it's really sad, because when you really think about the people who live like that, they spend every moment after they start saying they're old just decaying, just slowly rotting.
Yeah.
Afraid to do new things because I'm too old for that. Afraid to make a change because I'm too old for that. Afraid to literally do anything, or living in scarcity, won't change a job because I'm too old for that. Everything is I'm too old, and it's a crutch. They become the victim. It's a scarcity mindset, and it's not productive to a rich life.
Yeah, definitely. I think we need to all like rewrite that narrative. And I will say, I think it's a generational thing. Like,
sorry, boomers. Not really sorry. They don't listen to our podcast.
Maybe. I don't know. But, like that mindset of like, oh, when you're a professional and like a career person or a parent, like you have to be so serious. And just no. I mean, I'm so excited for the day that we have children of our own, because I'm going to just be so playful and joyful. And like, I can't wait to have more time and experience with like a child's imagination. Yeah. That's just incredible.
Mm-hmm. Good. I'm going to tear up a little. I just...
Wow.
No, because we were just talking about this. And I think, like we, I don't think we get on here and say our relationship is all sunshine and rainbows and everything's perfect. But I do think like we have these really, really fun times. And it makes my heart so happy to think about children
Mm.
as a part of that, and like having fun in the house and just doing like we have friends who their kid just randomly goes into the spice drawer and just like opens them, sniffs them, closes the lid, and like, and she's not fully talking yet, but she's at a point where she understands what they're saying. And what she loves to do is throw the spices.
Like across the room or like on the floor.
And so they'll tell her like, no throwing. We're not throwing right now. Just, you can open and close. And they just sit there and they watch her do it. And I think it's the funniest thing. And I love it. And it's just, there's so many like little things like that of like,
The fact that she can have fun with that. Something so simple, and it's just like, that is just joyful. Like,
and when she's talking, there'll be different characters, or like there's always something. And I really think like, in a sense, children keep us they keep that playful energy of life, but I would also argue that playful energy is what keeps life rich and meaningful.
Yeah.
And I think you always hear age is a mindset from older people who live full lives. And I think it's really about your approach to life as a whole.
Yeah, definitely. A big reason too that I wanted to just talk about this is because I was someone who did not used to really incorporate recreation. And I find that like us living together and being together, like it is kind of easier when you're able to just like joke around with someone all the time. Like us going shopping, like we're joking around, doing the dishes, like someone singing or like whatever it is.
We went to Target the other day.
Yeah.
Now, backstory, freaking love Target. I will spend a day in Target. I'll grab a Starbucks. I'll go peruse the aisles. But we walked into Target and I said to Kate, I was like, what do we need? And she goes, I don't know. Target tells us what we need.
Yeah, I told you I was like bored or like I needed something to do. And you were like, want to go to Target? And we're like, sure. Like, because we're going to make fun out of something like a Target trip. But when I lived by myself for a few years and like was working a job, like I would come home and just hang out with my dogs or like just want to collapse. And that was missing from my life. Like having more of that recreation time and that intentional fun time, playful time where I was connecting with myself. I don't feel like I had that back then. So now that I have it, I like absolutely see the difference in just my overall mindset and like how life is.
It's interesting because I also think about like creativity, right? And that playful energy is a very creative energy. It's that childlike aspect of it is your imagination, and that gets into visualization and all kinds of things. But I really have found for me personally that if I am too focused on any one aspect of my life, other areas suffer, right? So that playfulness helps me when I am trying to be serious and focus on my career and making time for that. And, I even think about my journey between trading and music. And like when I started trading, I had decided I was going to put out a song a week, and that didn't happen. And I stopped music altogether because I had spent so many hours studying and learning. Now I'm at a point where I'm starting to focus on music again. And as a result, I'm finding much more confidence and just frequency. Like I feel like I'm in tune with my trading and like what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And it balances out even just, my workouts and our relationship and my career, like everything that we're doing, it plays a role in all of it. It gives something to every aspect.
Yeah, being able to tap into like the creative side, the fun and playful side, like that is giving safety to your nervous system.
Right.
So it makes sense that other things would feel like a little less tension, like less stress, because you're able to express yourself in other ways and connect to this other piece of you that, like, again, you're experiencing safety and joy. And so that radiates into the other things in your life that you're doing.
And I think people don't know that side of themselves a lot. I think it almost feels so foreign, and that's why people think they have to be so serious.
Yeah.
And I think kind of in that same line of thinking is people who have that playfulness, but the whole time they're thinking about, their work or their career or something else. And um, it's kind of just practice and flexing that muscle and being able to be present in those moments, right? I think about we're around a lot of people now who are having kids, and um, we're kind of seeing some things that we love and things we don't love. And I think it kind of gives us the ability to step back and really look and say, okay, but they're only going to be this age for this long, like
Yeah.
you're missing this core developmental moment, and or what are you doing to, set it up so you're a part of that child's life? And there's just so many things there that I think you really want to focus on being present, because it's the same story. If you're not present, you really could miss out on life. You can absolutely physically be somewhere and miss it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's has a lot to do with the regulation of your nervous system.
Right.
Again, like that being safe and being present and being intentional with your time. And that's why I think you have to be intentional to find time for play in your life, whether you do have children or not. Like maybe if you have a child, it might be easier to access that play because
Mm.
they might want to play with you and you can, listen to their imagination, play with their toys, draw with them. There's nothing better than like a child coming up to you with their drawing of a circle and then being like, this is the beach and the mountains and a bear. And it's like, wow, that's an amazing imagination. And
Yeah.
like, that's just so fun.
Yeah.
They don't care about like how good the drawing was. Like, they just accessed that creative, playful side. And it's just purely fun, purely enjoyable. It's not meant for judgment. It's not meant to be reviewed by someone.
Yeah.
Like, that's the difference between doing something solely for fun and doing something and thinking like
Mm.
something needs to come out of it. Like, people don't access their creative side as adults because they're worried about not being good at something.
Yeah. And I think that's a really good point too, right? Of like, you could have fun in the aspect of drawing, right? But if you're drawing, are you sitting there critiquing your drawing the whole time? Because then that's not really the fun, creative,
Then it just
playful
becomes
energy,
stressful.
right? You're critiquing yourself. It's
Yeah.
stressful. It's work. You didn't do this right. You practice wrong, whatever.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a really fine line I've walked with music, is getting to a point of, I don't care how it sounds. I don't care what other people think about it. I don't care about if it's, sonically correct or harmonious or if it's in key. I just listen to it and think, do I like this? Does it feel meaningful to me? And does it feel fun to be here working on it?
Yeah. So it's really about like finding a hobby, finding an activity that is purely for your enjoyment. Like,
Mm.
what is going to genuinely make you smile and
Wait.
feel positive?
I have a great example.
Yeah.
We went axe throwing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it was fun. It was a great time. We threw the axes, hit the targets, whatever. But if you were to go axe throwing and the whole time you're thinking, I'm holding it wrong. Why can't I hit the target? Whatever, you kind of interrupt that playful energy,
Yeah.
right? So it's more just be present and make the memory versus like, I've got to do it perfectly.
It's not about rating or grading yourself in that
Right.
moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's just so many opportunities to incorporate fun in your life in some way, shape, or another. And, I read a lot of fiction books now, and I really recently kind of been diving into that. And so that is a form of recreation and fun slash hobby for me, where it's like I get to dive into like another world and I'm absolutely using my imagination. So there's a time and place for me to read like the personal development and growth books that I love, but finding fiction books again, which, before this year, it had been a long time since I had gotten into that.
Yeah.
It's a different energy. It's definitely a different side of yourself than like just being serious or like worrying about life, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, for me, a lot of obviously there's music. I do play video games. I've realized recently I play video games pretty much every day. But I find ways to balance it, right? But it also makes me think of, even in that realm, right? I have a game that I've played for like almost a decade now. That's basically just soccer. It's soccer with cars. And you get
Do
rockets
we
and
have any Rocket League fans?
yeah. So anyways, I play Rocket League. I play Rocket League, and I'm in a very high level in the league. And for years, there's different seasons, and for years, I've gone and I've played, and I play that game, and it's intense. Like it's a competitive thing for me.
Mm.
But I also recently just got a lawn mowing simulator game where I mow freaking lawns.
And that's a way of combining adult things
Yeah.
and turning them playful.
But my point being, no matter what you do, there could be some avenue there that, it could be something where you are being competitive and critiquing, or it could be something where you're kind of just mindlessly there, right? Or it could be something where you're actually creating memories. So, just a small note to say, even if you're having fun, that fun can be a lot of different things. Like, it's not always going to be meaningful fun,
Yeah.
but I think it's more about continuing to have that playful energy in what you choose and how you go into things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else?
I think that's it.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.